There's greatness inside of you. Let's do greatness with love. Unleash it in the greatness of His love. Transformation that you can have, coming from God above. Welcome to the greatness hub. Welcome to the greatness hub.
Our Heavenly Father, the fount of all goodness and grace, the cause of wisdom, the source of intelligence, we welcome you, O Lord, to this auspicious gathering of your beloved, who continuously give you thanks for every opportunity to learn something new and become fruitful to the works of your creation. We humbly come to you, not because we are worthy, but because we find ourselves in need of you, who is our strength and our hope, to continue despite the challenges we face in health, prosperity, and our solidarity with one another. We pray that today's gathering, made possible by the grace of advancements in technology and social media, becomes successful in its endeavors, so we can offer it back to you as our humble offering to honor you, glorify you, and love you through our deeper connection with everyone. May we find bliss in today's session and become more productive children and co-creators of the earth. This we ask and pray through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Good afternoon once again. This is Let's Speak English Basic Lesson Online. Basic English Lesson Online with Coach Joji. This afternoon, we are going to discuss or talk about the importance of oral communication and the need of it. You see, in the past first 20 days of the different months that have already passed, I have always been devoting the first 20 day to let me hear you say, and that is by listening to words, listening to how words are should be pronounced, when do we pronounce the words properly, how do we pronounce them properly, where do we put the intonation, where do we put the accent, all these. And this time I believe that I should be able to assist you or extend to you a little knowledge on the importance of oral communication or oral language, the importance of this and the need for it. So let's begin. As you can see here, I have a chart. The oral language at the core. What are included in the oral communication? We have the phonemic awareness, the phonics and spelling, syntax, that is the sentence level skills, the vocabulary and morphology, text comprehension, and written expression. Now let's try to take them one by one. First, What is the importance of oral language? Oral language, sometimes called spoken language, includes speaking and listening, the ways that humans communicate with one another, the ways that you and I communicate with one another. As I am speaking now, as I am talking now, as you may be talking with somebody else now, this is oral communication, which we use in our daily life, which we use in communicating with each other. So oral language skills provide a foundation for word reading and comprehension. They are at the heart of listening and reading comprehension, serving as a predictor for both. Now, as I've said, there are elements that are included in oral communication. So let's take them one by one. What is phonemic awareness? Phonemic awareness is an awareness of and the ability to manipulate the individual sounds called phonemes in spoken words. It is a subset of phonological awareness, the ability to manipulate oral language at the level of word, rhyme, or syllable. Phonemic awareness is essential to the development of word recognition and ultimately automatic word reading. As we grow up, as we start from the time we were uh, when we were children, we have been listening to our parents how they spoke the words, how they communicated with each other, and as we grew up, as we grew up, we started to adopt the way they spoke, the words that they have been speaking, and how they would be speaking the word. So this is the phonemic awareness. How our parents pronounce the words either as a whole word or syllabicated, or even the way the sound of a certain word. These are all parts of what we call phonemic awareness, like bike. As we hear the word bike, we have started hearing the word bike. We have started hearing the word food. The very first words that we have started learning, mama, papa, all these, as we have been taught how to pronounce them, we adopted them, and therefore, as we speak or we pronounce them, we take the way our parents have taught us how to pronounce the words. Mama, papa, mommy, daddy. So all these are all parts of what we call phonemic awareness. We become aware of how a word is pronounced. We become aware of, of the sounds, of the letters that are included within the word. Now, we have also what we call the phonics in this um, in the oral communication. What is phonics? Phonics is the study and use of sound or spelling, correspondences, and syllable patterns to help us read written words. The ultimate goal of phonics instruction is to ensure that we can read each and every word accurately and automatically, that is, as a sight word. In other words, the words that we encounter, the words that we read, the words that we hear, they have this what we call phonics, how they are spelled, how they are sounded. No? So let's say bike. Bike. The spelling of bike is Bike. The sound of bike is bike. For a little child, when he hears that sound, the very first time the child learns how to spell, the child will not be spelling bike as Bike immediately, but rather the child will be spelling the word in accordance to how it sounds. B-A-Y-K, bike, right? But as the child grows, then he starts to learn the right spelling. So this is part of phonics, how a word is spelled and how a word is pronounced. If you recall in the past lessons that we had this, the long vowels and the short vowels. So as the child grows, the child begins to learn the long vowels and the short vowels. In the same manner, the child starts to learn the different consonants in a particular word. So these are all included in what we call phonics. Next, we have the spelling. So naturally, we know what spelling is, how the words or letters of a certain word are connected so that these letters, connected or joined together, will produce a particular word. So that is what we call spelling. So how do you spell bike? How do you spell daddy? In the way it is pronounced, no, and the way we are taught, bike, B-I-K-E. So you spell bike, you spell daddy, you spell a certain word, and when you spell a certain word, you connect or join different letters together to form a particular word. So spelling is referred to the encoding. It is reciprocal to decoding. Spelling turns speech into writing. So from speech, the words we speak, to print. So we write down how a word is spelled. In order to spell, we must first hear the individual sounds in a word and then write the letter or letters that represent the sounds. When reading, we go from print to speech. So when we start learning how to spell words, when we have started learning how to spell words, then we can begin to read. Read the words in accordance to how they are spelled and read the words in accordance to how they are pronounced. When we start to read, we also speak aloud the words that we read. So from print to speech or uttering the words. From speech to print. We write the words and we spell the words in written form. Another element included in the oral communication is syntax. I have already mentioned syntax to you in the past in one of our past lessons. What is the syntax? We refer to the structures of a sentence. So syntax, a linguist's word for sentence structures, is the rule system that governs how words and phrases are arranged into clauses and sentences. Grammar is not the same as syntax, but syntax is part of grammar. It has to do with a function that is the role of words and phrases in a sentence. Example, what is the position of a subject in a sentence? Usually the subject comes first and it is followed by the verb. And we find in the sentence the predicate phrase. So the positions of these different parts of speech or words we find in a sentence, This is what we call syntax. The positioning of words in accordance to their function as a subject, as an action word, that is the verb, and the predicate that describes also the subject. And within, we find the verb. Okay? So this is the syntax, this is the structure of a sentence. So the structure, the general rule in constructing a sentence, in composing a sentence, is the subject first, followed by the verb, and the predicate where within we find the verb. So the syntax is how these words are positioned. The positions of those mentioned above is what is referred to as the structure of the sentence. Again, that is the syntax. The syntax is not the same as grammar, but syntax is part of grammar. The rule on the positioning of the subject, the verb, and predicate phrase where verb is also found. In oral communication, we use words, but we need to understand and we need to know what the meaning of the words are or is. So the vocabulary is a very important element in our oral communication. It refers to the body of words and their meanings that we must understand to comprehend texts. Vocabulary knowledge is one of the strongest predictors of reading comprehension. Vocabulary is critical to one's success for the reasons. Vocabulary helps you to think and learn about the world. Expanding your knowledge of words provides unlimited access to new information. New words are formed every stage in your life, in the history of the world. Therefore, it is important that you have an idea of the new words formed that can be interchangeable with other words that had been often used in the past. So, when we speak of the vocabulary, we speak of words and their meanings, so that as we convey, as we communicate, we will be able to convey what exactly we want to say. If we do not know the meaning of the word, how can we use the word in a particular sentence or in communication? So now, as years passed by, we discovered that there are new words that had been included in the dictionary. So remember, see that the dictionary increases in words because there are new words that are now being used. The same words may be replacing words that we have often used in the past. Some Filipino words are now included in the International Dictionary. Feel ko, that is a Filipino expression, feel ko. Now the word feel in the dictionary has included the meaning of the Filipinos with feel ko. So notice that the meaning of a particular word also expands. So we can start to use this word or other words in accordance to how they are now being used in this modern stage, in this millennial stage, no? In this millennial age. So when we get ourselves to become aware of the new words, we also expand our vocabulary. We expand our words and understand and convey the meaning of new words. Another element of the oral language is morphology. What is morphology? It is a study of meaningful units of language called morphemes and how they are combined in forming words. For example, the word contradiction. Contra means against. That is the prefix of the word contradiction. Contra is a prefix and it means against. Dict, D-I-C-T, is to speak. No, it is the root word to speak. And the suffix ion is a verbal action. So contradiction. What is the meaning of contradiction? Contra, against, dict, to speak, ion is a verbal action, an act to contradict what has spoken, an act to contradict, to go against a word. This involves the ability to break a word also into syllables. When words are syllabicated, they are done so in accordance to designated meaning of each syllable in a word. Again, we go back to contradiction. Contradiction is syllabicated in this manner: contra, dict, ion. Contra is one syllable of the whole word contradiction and it means against. Dict is to speak and ion is a verbal action. So these different syllables with their meaning placed together, then they create a one meaning for this word contradiction. When words are syllabicated, as we have said earlier, they are done so in accordance to designated meaning of each syllable in a word. Next, we have the text comprehension. What is the text comprehension? Comprehension is the ability to understand, to be the ability to make meaning. It is the ultimate goal of reading. Comprehension is the ability to pick up what is the meaning of a particular word, so that if different words have been joined together and knowing the meaning of each word, then we will be able to understand a phrase, understand the meaning of a word, joined together with other words, then we start to understand the meaning of a phrase. So it is the ultimate goal of reading. We cannot understand what we are reading unless we also understand the meaning of every word that we speak or we read. It is much more than a collection of skills and strategies that students or we apply to text. It requires metacognitive skills, vocabulary, background knowledge, and verbal reasoning ability. So comprehension, we come to see if a person understands what we are saying, if in response that the response of the person is coherent to what we have been conveying. And we have this comprehension, the ability to understand whatever we read, we will also be able to get the meaning of what we are reading. If we are able to relay in our own words what we have read, what has been spoken, properly and in accordance to what has truly been conveyed, then we understood, then we had comprehend. We have good comprehension if we are able to relay the same thought, the same idea. So what do we need in being in comprehending or understanding words? We need background knowledge. No? We have to be able to have a background. We have to be able to have a knowledge of the words, of the vocabulary. And in the same level, we should be able to reason in accordance to our knowledge, in accordance to the knowledge that we have acquired. Part of comprehension is the listening comprehension. In oral communication, you will be able to see whether the person you're communicating with is able to understand you. Again, if that person's response is coherent to what you have been conveying. So listening comprehension is a precursor or precedent to reading comprehension. When we are able to develop our listening comprehension, then our reading comprehension also expands. It is an important skill. Listening comprehension and reading comprehension are equally important. These are two skills equally important. Equally important to develop. So listening comprehension isn't just hearing what is said, it is the ability to understand the words and relate to them in some way. Comprehension is understanding the meaning of words joined together to convey an idea or thought. The ability to comprehend what the communicator is transmitting, then the response is coherent, what is being conveyed. Better oral communication occurs with comprehension. Comprehension from oral communication leads one to right understanding of text or written communication. What has been correctly understood can be well expressed in writing. So when we have a good comprehension, we have our understanding of what we listen to. If we're able to comprehend what is being said, then we will be able to write the idea that we have picked up properly. Write that and be able to do so in accordance to the right idea that is conveyed. Well, before I continue, I just like to read some comments here. Oh, hi, Coach Harvey. Nice to hear from you. And she says, hi, Coach Joji. And we have also, well, thank you. Thank you for listening. Ram Paredes Reyes, Joshua Paredes Reyes, Gabriel Kai Paredes, Ria Paredes Reyes, Rafael de los Reyes. Thank you for listening. Also from Shin de los Reyes. Thank you, and I hope that as you are listening, I am able to be of great assistance or able to help you well. in this journey of learning and relearning English. Now we continue. Written expression. Remember what we said earlier. When we have proper understanding, comprehension of what is being communicated to us, then it will be easier for us to put that down into writing. So we express that in written form. What the ideas we have picked up, we can express that in written form. So we have part of another element for this oral language is written expression. What is written expression? Written expression refers to a highly complex cognitive self-directed process. Higher order components include planning, translating or drafting, reviewing, and revising. The translation process includes lower level transcription skills, that is, handwriting and spelling, and text generation at 3 different language levels: the word, the sentence, and the text. Written expression is a crucial part of communication and critical thinking. For students, developing strong writing skills not only helps them increase in grades, but also prepares them for their academic and professional futures. Whether writing essays, taking notes, or applying for scholarships, for that matter, anyone, the students, and anyone for that matter, must learn to develop ideas and proofread written work before sharing it. This written expression is not only something that should be developed by the students, it is also a skill that we can develop, you and I can develop. Even at our age, not everybody has good writing skills. Not everyone is able to express one's thoughts, one's ideas, in written form. So the background we have, the vocabularies, the span, the span of our vocabularies, our knowledge of a word, our ability to be able to understand, comprehend what we listen to is a precedent. It is the first step for us to be able, for you and me, to be able to write and express our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings, everything that we think, we feel in a written form. So where we will be able to express them properly with good comprehension, not only listening comprehension, but even reading comprehension. You see, when we write something, we just don't pick up ideas from what we hear, but we pick up ideas also from what we read. So reading comprehension is also, as I've said earlier, oral comprehension, listening comprehension, or oral communication, listening comprehension, reading comprehension. These are all of equal importance. We will not be able to express ourselves in written form unless we have good comprehension of words, of vocabularies, of phrases. So again, written expression is a crucial part of communication and critical thinking. For everyone, both students and adults alike, developing strong writing skills prepare us for the students, not just for their academic and professional futures. And for us, it can expand our abilities, and we will be able to also develop better writing skills. Whether these are essays, taking notes, applying for jobs, or whatever else. Before sharing what we have written, we have to learn and know how to proofread our words. Now, fluency is another element in communication, both oral and written. When we communicate, our understanding of words, our understanding of phrases, our understanding of the meaning of words that we use, this helps us develop the ability to become fluent. The exercise of our tongues in pronouncing words, the exercise of our brain in thinking in English, since what we are learning in this show is English. As we exercise our brain, our tongue, our abilities, then we develop fluency. And fluency is not just fluency in oral communication, in speaking, in speech, but even fluency in writing. What is this fluency? It is the ability to read orally with sufficient accuracy, appropriate rate, and suitable expression. Our model expands fluency to encompass all aspects of literacy development. Fluent, automatic performance in both discrete, its word of recognition, and complex comprehension composition. Literacy skills is essential for proficiency reading and writing. Well, we can learn more about that. You may go to this site, literacy, www.literacyhow.org, fluency. Fluency in written expression is as important as fluency in oral communication. Writing fluency is the natural flow and organization of a written work. Fluent pieces of writing are easier and more enjoyable to read as words are organized in a logical fashion and the overall message of the piece is easier to understand. By engaging in a variety of writing improvement activities, you will better develop your writing skills and your written expression. So with oral communication or oral language, communicating with spoken words. Oral communication is a verbal form of communication where you communicate your thoughts, present ideas, and share information. Helps to build trust and reliability. Oral communication is more effective than an email or a text message. Why? Because when you email or you text your message, you have to wait for the response. Whereas if with oral communication, you talk with a person right in front of you and you immediately get the response of the person. And immediately you will be able to detect, identify whether the person you're communicating with is able to understand you. Oral communication, when you rely You can rely on oral communication to get your point across, avoid misunderstandings, and minimize confusion. In text messaging, or for that matter, even email, sending emails, this minimizing confusion, the confusion can be terrible. Why? You do not know exactly what is the tone of the person talking with you, communicating with you. In oral communication, you immediately get to know whether the person is angry, or the person is sweet, or the person is conveying to you thoughts, ideas so naturally without any malice. Whereas in text messaging, especially if you do not know the person messaging you, you can easily misunderstand what is being transmitted to you. So with oral communication, you avoid misunderstandings and you minimize confusion. With oral communication, you develop fluency. Oral fluency leads you to express yourself fluently in writing. Therefore, oral communication is important and necessary for better comprehension and well-written expression. Once again, may this lesson on the importance of oral communication and the need of it help you and hopefully push you to engage in oral communication in English and eventually trigger you to take your thoughts into written form. Thank you so much for once again joining me in this afternoon's lesson. At this point, I also encourage you to avail of our promo under iShare, the 17 certification online. Visit the link below, www.facebook.com, iShare Publishing Inc. In iShare, you will be able to find in the 17 certification online talks different topics, quite interesting topics, very, very interesting topics. But I'd like you to visit that page and know more about what iShare Publishing offers you. So let me remind you to stay tuned to our next program, Eagles Rebirth with Coach Nap, and presenting to you all the Wednesday programs. It is followed by Estudiante Blues from 7 to 8, and that is with Coach Blues, and followed by Rated PG with Coach Mamshi. Thank you for watching. See you Wednesday. This is Let's Speak English under Greatness Hub channel online channel in cooperation with iHelp. Together, let's discover, develop, and dominate our greatness within.